Hey everyone, I wanted to welcome you back to the next episode of Between the Mics with Chris and Alicia. Today we have Jessica Nieves. Did I do that one right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Good job.
I feel like today I'm butchering names left and right, so I got to check in. But today we're really excited to talk with Jess because she's actually a near and dear friend to us. She's actually helped us with a couple things with our own business. So I want to introduce Jess and kind of tell you a little bit about.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
Hey guys. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. So it's, you know what,
that, right?
you know,
Yeah.
let's
The guy's part, you're good.
no, let's start this real quick. So we always have this conversation because we're doing this. We're doing this.
Okay,
Yep.
we're
So
doing
everyone
this.
can put in the comments whether or not it's right, wrong, whatever. But we're talking about different age gaps, right? So me growing up, I used to always say, "Hey guys," meaning everybody. But Alicia has now informed me that her kids say, like, you can't do that kind of stuff. It has to be inclusive of everyone. So how many of you guys make that mistake of doing "Hey guys" versus "Hey
I was
everyone"?
correcting you to say, I'm not a guy. Just say, hi, everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Jess. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Jessica Nieves, and as you guys know, I'm a realtor. I'm also a investor. I have a couple properties, and I am the founder of the Stroke of Light, a nonprofit that gears towards stroke survivors and their families and caretakers. And it's kind of in honor of my sister who had a stroke at age 33. And I'm excited to be here.
That's great. That's
So
great.
excited.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to jump in on just give us background of how you started in investment properties, where you are today, and then how that became a business essentially.
So basically I've been in housing my whole career. So after high school, I was employed at Mass Housing. And I became an asset manager shortly after that, maybe 4 or 5 years after that. And I just did the housing thing. And then I actually landed a job at HUD, a federal agency and also in housing. So that is my background, housing. And then obviously at 24, I bought a house with my fiance. We got married, we moved in, we did all the traditional things. And then we just wanted to have more properties and we wanted to get into it, but I'm not the risk taker. My husband was at that time. And he kind of was like, hey, let's do this. And then I had another baby, my second child. And then after that in 2020, that's when we bought our first property. So we started there, we renovated it. It went great. And we rented it out and we were doing fine. And then someone just asked hey, would you be willing to kind of rent out your primary residence? And we're like, well, we live here.
Where do I go?
Right. But then my husband's like, this is a great opportunity because he had found something on the Cape.
Okay.
And then he was like, let's just do it. So we moved out of that. We bought the Cape and then it just kept going after that. And we just built what we have now. So that's how we got into it.
Empire. Yeah.
Empire.
So let me back up just a little bit because I think I did a horrible job with the introduction because a lot of times I'm very honest today. I was putting everything out there. So most of the time when we talk, we're always talking about marketing, the ins and outs of it, what things you should be doing, you shouldn't be doing. Today, we want to do something a little bit different. And the reason why we want to do something different is because as me and Alicia, as marketers and business owners, you have to look at different ways to diversify, especially when it comes to taxes. So me and Alicia, we were constantly getting just absolutely crucified with taxes. And one thing we started thinking about was, okay, how can we start diversifying ourselves to, one, protect ourselves in case anything goes wrong, but two, start saving a little more on taxes. And that's where we met Jess. So Jess really kind of gave us the whole ins and outs in regards to investing in property and it may not be property for you guys. It may be something else you want to invest in, but this whole podcast is going to be more about the investment piece and what you do after you make that money from your clients, right? Do you just put it in a bank, squirrel it away under your bed, whatever? Mm-hmm. That should have been the spiel I gave at the beginning.
That's great.
Right?
You did an amazing job.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that was really good.
Perfect. Now let's see if we can
Was there a question in there though?
It was more like I kind of wanted to prepare everybody for where this was going to go, I guess you could say. So why don't we start there, right? So we started talking about investing in properties, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you help people take that first step in regards to diversifying their portfolio?
So I like to give this story just because it put everything in perspective for me. So when we bought our house in the Cape, we met this older realtor and I asked questions because I'm like, hey, like, what does this do for you? Like, and we're just getting into it. So we're buying all these properties, but it was like crazy. It was like year after year. And everybody's like, what are you doing? And we're like, we don't know. But I asked him, I'm like, so would you invest in stocks or real estate? And he told me, he's like, well, I'm not smart enough to do stocks right now. So I just always invested in real estate, and he did really well. And that kind of stuck with me because not that I'm not smart. Obviously, I have my MBA. So
Yes.
I think I'm smart.
You're very smart.
Smart enough.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't think I'm smart enough in that area either. And I was always looking for a way to kind of like invest my money. And then I saw the benefits of real estate. And then I'm like, wow, you can make so much money in like a year. So I like to start with that just because there's so many ways to kind of diversify, like you said. But for me, real estate has really like it's just given me so many, like it's just opened so many doors. So like with my clients, like I always start with the why. And I like to tell them, I'm like, I'm not the realtor that's just going to sell you the house. Like, I want to see you do what you want to do. Like, it's going to bring me so much joy if I'm like, oh, look at Chris. He sold that house and this is what we talked about. And this is exactly what he's doing. That brings me so much joy. Or Alicia. And so I tell my clients, I'm like, you always have to start with your why and why you're doing it. Because some of them say, I just want more money. And I'm like, that's not a reason why. Like, you can't, okay, yeah, you will have more money, like equity, but it's different. It's not fast money. And I think when people see that you're investing in properties, they just think fast money. They're like, oh, she's a landlord. She gets all these rents. And I'm like, there's so much more to that, especially even like with the Cape house. Like, everybody loves the Cape. Like, oh, you have a Cape house. And I'm like, yeah, but I never see my Cape house. Right. You know, like I never get to see it just because the Airbnb portion of that brings me all the money. So, and that's at a time where like everybody wants to be at the Cape. So I don't get to see that. We don't get to enjoy that. So I always start with like that why and why we're kind of doing this. And then we go from there.
But I feel like the why, regardless of your industry, is the propeller that gets you to that next space. So you as an investor, as a realtor, so one of the things that Chris and I always dreamed about was diversifying, but I love hospitality. I love trying to figure out how to make an experience. And Airbnbs or short-term rentals is that for me. So we always talked about this dream of doing it. And it was this like far off horizon of ever being able to achieve it. But I met you on one of the bold moves of office hours. And the way that you talked about the investment properties that you had, you were very honest about like the guts and glory of being a landlord. It's not all, gold showers. Like it's not... It's not always as shiny as it looks. I feel like
we never get the gold showers. How about that?
I know. It never happens, right? So so like listening to you talk about that and how you approach a deal or how you approach clients. And so there was like multiple times I kept listening to you and I said to Chris, I'm like, when we're ready, I know the person that we're going to work with. We had met other realtors and we both left being like, ugh, I feel like I need to take a shower after that call. Like it just felt like
they just wanted to sell that. That's like, it. They just wanted to sell the house. They didn't care whether, and that's.
There was like a house that we looked at that was like, it was so bad. I was like, I can't.
And they're like, this is the house. And you're like, no, I was like, my
stomach literally hurts being in this house. Like, this is not the house. And there's like multiple different ones and multiple different realtors that we kind of met. And I was like, ugh. But then when we like talk with you and you were very like, why do you want this? Don't fall in. That was one of the first things you said. Do not fall in love with the first house or with the house that you're going to go look at. So can you like take us through how you approach a client, you can use us as an example, but how you take the why and then you go in deep to figure out how to give them the how.
So first of all, thank you, because I really appreciate that. Just because I've been told before, like, anybody could be a realtor. Why are you doing this? Anybody could be a realtor. And it's true. Anybody could get their license and sell a house. That's the easy part. But the passion, like, for you to say that, I'm grateful, just because I love to hear that people could feel the passion that I have for real estate. Right. So usually I approach my clients. Obviously, I don't like the sales part of real estate. I hate that part. And I feel like a salesperson all the time, and that's just not who I am. But when I approach a client, or the client approaches me, I just basically, like, I forgot your question. I'm like, wait, what am I saying?
That happens all the time. Yeah. I forgot what I asked. How do you approach, like, a client tells you their why? Okay. How do you give them the how?
Okay.
Right.
Whew. All right. So when I approach the client, they approach me. We talk about the why. I figure out, like, okay, what is it that this person is really trying to do? Right. And then we kind of, like, walk through, like, I'll ask them what the areas are, like, where do you want to look for? We talk about budget. That's very important. Like, you have to be pre-approved. Like, we can't just talk about something and then not know what you can do. So I walk them through that. I have a really great lender that I'm working with right now. And so I push them off to her, and she pre-approves them. We work together as a team. I like to build teams, just because I feel like when a client is supported, they'll go further. Like, you can't do anything by yourself. Like, it's like people are coming to me, and I'm the agent, right? The expert. And I know people have, like, their own, expertise, and they do have their own knowledge, which I do appreciate. But sometimes I have people coming to me, and they're basically kind of questioning everything I tell them. So at that point, I'm just like, all right, well, just let me know what you need my help with, right? But then the clients that I do send over to my lender, like, we'll figure out what they're doing with their budget. And then we just basically walk through the process. Like, we're going to do a down payment. We're going to do this. So I explain the process with the lender to them, because it's a team. And then we start searching. I'll put them on a listing alert, and I'll send them houses that they give me the criteria. So, like, let's say someone's like, I want an investment property. I know to not send them one family, like single families, just because that is not really an investment. It's kind of like,
why not?
Usually in this market, the mortgage is too high. And even if you get, like, let's say a voucher in there or anything like that, sometimes it just doesn't cover. So I always say, if you're not covering your expenses, it's not an investment. It's a risk. Yeah. Like, it's a liability. Like, you have coming out of your pocket every single month, even $300, $400, $500. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Right. You add it up.
Yeah. And yeah, you'll get the equity in the back end. But I always say, why would you get into a liability, and why would you do that? Like, I don't want to take money out of my pocket to kind of for the future. Like, that's not something we should be doing. That's like living out of your means, kind of, So I don't send them the one families just because of that, unless they really, really want a one family, and then we talk about it. Right. And then
like
I tell them
short-term rental, maybe a one family.
Yeah, if it's a one family and it's like I have the Cape House, but if it's a one family that could be profitable, then okay, like, let's try that. But it depends on what they're pre-approved for. Right. Because it's like, if you're a $4,000 mortgage or $5,000 mortgage every month, and you're trying to scrap, you know how Airbnb is.
That's a big nut to cover. Yeah, 100%.
So it's kind of that. So we talk about that, and then we start searching. And then if they like something, they'll send it to me, and we'll talk about it. Usually, realtors are just like, oh yeah, we'll go open the door for you. I'm not that realtor.
Oh, I know you're not. Jess walked through the house, and she like highlighted the pros, ripped apart the different pieces or the issues that we were going to have or the things that we needed to fix, or the negotiating pieces. And that was huge, right? You don't know what you don't know, especially like our first toe dip of short-term rental purchasing. So I think that's a huge value add. And when you bring that to the investment piece,
it's so important.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes we get into things like I remember my first realtor and my first lender. I was 24.
Yeah. Right.
I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I was still living on my parents. My fiance was still living at his parents, his mom's. We had no idea. But these two guys, like, they literally took us by the hand and walked through the process. Like my realtor would be like, no, he was a good friend of my dad's too. So maybe that's why. But he kind of like showed us. And at that time, my husband didn't know anything. Like he didn't even know how to like screw into the wall or something. He couldn't even find like a beam, you know.
I hope
something.
he's watching this.
Yeah, you learn quick when you have a rental property. That's or any part of property.
So
that's for sure.
That's why it's different because I remember that. And I remember how grateful I was. Like I think I looked for my lender for like 10 years. That even his wife was like, can you stop emailing my husband? I'm like, lady, I'm just trying to get work done. Like, you know, but he was that good. And my realtor was that good, you know? So that's what I try to walk my clients through. I want to make sure that they have a good investment because I don't want them to be like, just put me in this house. And it
doesn't work.
It doesn't work for me, you know? So that's important.
All right. So let's talk about the investment piece, right? So we keep talking about the houses, finding the right ones, getting them in there, right? But the ultimate goal is an investment, right? Either one, you're pulling profit from the Airbnbs, but there's other ways you can also pull profit, right? Like taxes, stuff like that. So why don't you kind of break down for people like why real estate is a good investment besides just acquiring an asset?
So because we've done so many strategies, I feel like when you get into real estate, you really have to kind of learn too. Like you can't just rely on like your realtor or your lender. Because obviously there's one goal. It's like literally get you the property, but then it's yours, you know? So for me, I bought my house in Boston for, obviously it was when the market crashed. It was like 208,000 or something. Now that house is well over 700, right? But that little house, and people would walk in my house and they're like, oh, this is tiny. Like, why would you buy this house? And we're like, oh, whatever. But that little house, when we pulled we pulled money out of that house and we were able to buy our investment in Taunton, Massachusetts. So that was our 2-family. So we did that. And then the Cape house, we were able to like gather enough money of our own to do that. And then we did like another type of strategy where for my last house, we used like private money. And we had somebody give us some money and then we bought the off-market deal and then we renovated it and then we refinanced it and we gained like 250,000 in like 9 months. So I always say the investment piece for real estate, if you know how to do it and you really educate yourself, you can make a lot of money in a short period of time, but it's not easy.
Right.
So you have to learn all the strategies. You have to learn or at least
work
talk
with
to
somebody
people. Yeah.
that knows.
Talk to people that could do that because we have a lot of equity, right, in our homes. And that's what I hear a lot. They're like, what do I do? And I'm like, well, first of all, let's connect you to a lender that knows how to do this. And that's when we talk about those strategies and then we find little things that help you. But that's the investment piece. That's why I just love real estate just because your money can grow. Sometimes I have no money in the bank, but my husband's like, but you're not broke. And I'm like, but I feel broke. And he's like, but you're not broke. You know, so
it's a different way to look at it, definitely.
It's different.
You know, rather than seeing the big number in the bank, it's the way less. But now you got to start realizing that you have equity in other places. So I think, and so one of the things you're talking about right now is called forced equity, right? So basically when you purchase a house, so this is when we went through this process, I learned a ton, right? Because I like to be educated when you kind of go into these things because when you're not, you lose money, right? I've learned several lessons doing this. So I've actually purchased my second house now, which We won't even go there. But
we're going to sell that house. Don't worry.
yeah, I'm sure we will. But that's kind of one of those things is that you learn as you go, right? So we were talking about forced equity, right? And that was one of the things that I started looking at with the second house, right? Was, okay, it needs a lot of work, but I could see the potential, right? It was right on a lake. Like, this is it. This is perfect. I made the mistake, which I will tell you guys right now, don't ever do this. If you listen to nothing else from me, listen to this. Get a home inspection. We had been looking for houses
Just giving you a little grace. What year did you buy it?
last year.
2024?
2024.
So remember, it was at that time like that people weren't doing inspections. Now you can't do that. Like you can't legally do that.
Correct. So really? You can't legally do that anymore?
No, like we can't tell you don't do an inspection. But there was a time where people were like, oh, don't do an inspection because then there'll be a better offer.
That was the only way.
We can't really do that anymore. So it's like, give yourself a little grace.
Yeah. I'm brutal to myself when I make mistakes, but that was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one. Just because, so at that time, you are right though, right? Because it all comes down to the market. Like we were making offers on houses left and right because we were looking for a lake house for probably 4 years, and they were constantly turning us down because we'd go against somebody that had either all cash or no inspection. So I remember saying to my wife, being like, "Look, I know what I'm doing. This is good to go. Let's just do this."
Yep.
And it bit me in the ass, to be honest with you. It just was a lot worse. But the forced equity comes with it. That's the one saving grace that I have with this house is that the money that we're now putting into it, it'll be worth it when we do turn around and sell it, right? So hindsight being 2020, it would have been better if I can actually make the money, not just make my money back, make that more money. So the whole point I'm trying to get is like there's different avenues to kind of make money, right? So one is obviously the taxes. The other one is forced equity, which is, building a house, not even building, just fixing up a house. It could be something as simple as putting a new coat of paint on or whatnot, which we've kind of talked about a couple times.
And I force the fact that like, I'm just always like sweat equity, guys.
Yeah.
Like do things yourself. Like even some people are like, oh, but we have the money, we can. And I'm like, why? If you can do that yourself, if you can paint yourself, if you can do the floors yourself. Now, like my husband knows how to do everything. So he's like, you want me to do everything? And I'm like,
yeah, because you can. I didn't
you can build a kitchen. And he's like, yeah, of course you can build I can build a kitchen because you're not doing it. But, you know, it's like, it's that equity that's like, it's just,
and it's
it gets you there. Like it gets you there.
It does. And a lot of times that's like, I learned a ton with my first home, right? Because I didn't have a pot to piss. Me and my wife didn't have a pot to piss in. So we had to do the work ourselves.
Same.
So it's really kind of good when you kind of understand that piece of it. I agree with you. If you can keep the work in-house yourself, you will save a ton of money and you will make a lot more.
You brought up a good point too. Like I talk to my clients all the time about not getting desperate. Like I have a client now that she literally just saw something on Instagram, was like, hey, can you send me the information? We got her pre-approved. She signed with me and she's ready to go. And she's like, I cannot believe this is going so fast. But I'm like, okay, but slow down.
But slow down. You don't need to make the decision.
Yeah. I'm like, and she's good. Like, she's like, I'm not rushing. I'm like, nope, we're not rushing. Like, obviously, I get paid when someone buys a house. We all know that, commission. But I force that on my clients. I'm like, do not rush. Because when we rush, we get desperate and then we make a wrong move.
Yeah.
And then we can't get out of it fast enough.
I think when you rush, you start thinking more with this rather than with this. And that was the mistake that I made, is that for the past 4 years, I was always thinking with this.
I have an Instagram post on that.
Yeah. And then literally I was like,
versus your brain.
Yeah, 100%. And we always say hindsight's 20/20.
It's true.
But like when you really start thinking with your head rather than your heart, that's when that's an investment, right? You should never think of an investment with your heart versus.
So I have a question on the investment piece. So you work a lot with people that are looking to build their portfolio. You know a lot about this space. But once they purchase a home, there's a lot of work that needs to go behind that home in order to get it rented, whether long-term or short-term. And so you offer a package specifically because of this. So can you kind of walk us through, like, why did you create it, what it is, and how it really helps? Because even though you don't think of yourself as a marketer, you really do have a ton of knowledge on how to market a product, which is the home.
So I created that just because, like I said, I love real estate and I love being an agent. I've only been doing it for like a year and a half, right? Because I've had my license for 10 years and I've done it for myself. But I created that package just because my Airbnb space, I love that. I love that part of my real estate and my portfolio. Like I just, like you said, I love creating these experiences and these beautiful stays, and I love for families to gather, make their memories, right? But I created that just because I needed another source of income too. And I had to kind of like, all right, let me think, outside of the box a little bit. So I did that. And what I do is I have 3 tiers. And it's basically like, I can help you with your Airbnb listing. Obviously, I know with my experience, and I always tell people, this is my experience. Like, you do what you want. But from my experience, these are the, the accommodations you need. These are the days you need. Like, this is the pricing you should use. This is how you should like manipulate your calendar. Like, I could help you set all of that up. Then my next tier would be like, I could do that. Plus I could get your house ready. Right. And then my full service is basically from like start to finish. So we get the property, we set it up, we do the pictures, we do the listing, and then I go beyond that and I manage it for you. Yeah. So, and I have clients on the Cape doing that just because I have my own property on the Cape. Right. So I am doing that on the Cape. So when I do that, it's basically, I have my cleaning crew, I have my handyman, I have my landscaper, I have my snow removal, the trash, I have a whole team where I could kind of like call on them to help me manage the property. Right. 'Cause it's hard.
Yeah. Well, when we purchased our home, you walked us through, and I had my notebook, and we went room by room about all the different things that we needed to either renovate, change, purchase, and why behind it. And that was huge. It was better than a ChatGPT checklist could come, right? And then when we got it up on Airbnb, which if anyone's ever done short-term rentals and all the different sites and the different bios, there's a whole science behind it. And you supported us in that endeavor. And then now getting it rented. So I think especially the short-term rental and having the money to be able to do that is fantastic for an investment property, but then understanding the whole back end is massive. Right. So that's an awesome offer that you kind of bring to the table that is just beyond the real estate part.
I just love it so much. I'm just like, I feel like everybody should have at least one property. Yeah. I feel like with my property in Taunton, it's my 2-family. And I literally dedicated a floor to each of my children. Like, it's the first floor is for my daughter. She's number 1. Second floor is for my son. And I'm like, this is your college, even though my husband probably doesn't agree. But I'm like, this is their college fund right here. Like, they could do whatever the heck they want. If they want to take out the equity and pay their college off, fine. If you want to rent, and then after that, you could rent those apartments. You have some equity there. You have some income. They'll be broke college kids. If you rent it and you know how to do that process, then you're well off. And my husband's like, they're gonna get their real estate license at 18 because it's like you set your kids up. You're to be better be better than us. So 100%. It's just amazing.
I want to touch on your personal branding because this is an area that I have seen you test and adapt and grow into. And I feel like you're really hitting your stride. So where you come in from a different perspective is that, yes, you work for yourself, but you work underneath a larger brand, a brokerage, right?
Right. Live Realty. Yeah.
And so you have to stay within their brand guidelines, but hiring a realtor is a very personal choice as well. You have to vibe with the right person. So how do you approach personal branding to market yourself in that setting?
So I'm still building that, but I feel like because my brokerage, it aligns with the person I am, my style, my vibe. It's a little easier for me to kind of like branch out to do my own thing. So I have to be respectful to, their brand. But what I try to do with mine is I want people to feel me. And so I just put myself into it a lot. Like, if you see my page, like you'll see like my kids on there, you'll see my sister on there, you're going to see my husband. Like I just try to kind of stay in line with my brokerage, but also put myself in there just because I'm the heart of my brand. This is what I'm building. This is mine, you know? So that's how I approach it. But I mean, it is hard kind of like doing both because I have 2 or 3 brands that I'm building, right? I'm building my real estate brand. I'm building my nonprofit. I'm building my own personal brand. So it's kind of, my personal brand is just me, everything that I love, who I am. And all 3 of those things are part of that.
Yeah, it is really hard to keep track of everything. And we have the Aliste marketing Instagram that touches marketing, it touches community. I'm more heavy on it for my personal brand because Christopher doesn't take pictures of himself, videos of himself. So, but he is somewhere on there. We should do like, where's Chris? Like, where's Waldo? But like on the Instagram, we just have him like in the corner. But the idea of like starting a whole other page specific to me is like exhausting. So I understand that, like trying to balance all the different flavors that bring into your business and your personal brand.
And I've had to tone it down because I've had my friends like, okay, what do I tag you on? Like, you have so many pages. And I'm like, I know. Yeah. I'm like, just bear with me. Like, you guys are with me through the bad, through the good. So this is kind of like the bad when you're like building yourself and you're trying to like, I mean, I think people know what I'm about. Like, they know I'm about my sister's recovery and they know I'm about my real estate.
Yeah.
So
and Disney.
I think, oh, yeah, and Disney. Yeah. So they know those 3 things are like me. So I think I've accomplished that. But it's hard.
So it's because I'm over here smiling because on a weekly basis, Alicia breaks my stones in regards to getting out there. So I always find it very difficult. I don't want to say I don't find myself in, I think I'm very interesting, but the things that I find myself putting out there, like for marketing, like, I don't know, I have a very hard time relating my personal life. Besides, it's my job. I have a very hard time kind of putting out there the things I do. So like, how do you go about,
I don't always talk about marketing though.
I know you do an amazing job of
just talk.
She really does. And
she does.
Talk.
And you know what I love about you? That it's like you go on camera and you're just like so natural.
I'm just like,
you're like hey guys.
I'm just on.
Oh, I said
it's totally not bad. Like I'm just,
girls.
I just kind of black out and just talk to it. Like I did one this morning and I said, I'm at the podcast studio and I'm interviewing 2 amazing powerhouse women. That's it. Like I wasn't saying we're marketing or here are the 5 tips that you need to do to grow your business.
I do I have a hard time with that too. Yeah. Like Alicia does a really good job, but I struggle with that too.
Like I could talk about my personal life all day long. Yeah. But when it comes to the kind of the business piece of it, I just feel like, kind of give you, for instance, I went down to go see one of my friends in Mexico and it just so happened at that point in time, the whole ordeal with the cartel. So we got stuck down there. So everybody was calling me and I got tired of talking to people and we were completely safe. So I started making videos about it.
That's what people want to hear.
But it's interesting. So you say that, yes, a lot of people were very thankful that I made the videos, but there was also a lot of people that were like, dude, man, like kind of took it overboard in regards to that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought this is what everybody wants, So it's very interesting to find that happy medium between.
I just feel like people just need to mind their business.
Yeah, you just post and then you walk away from it. And you don't look at the comments. You don't think about what other people are going to like return back. Because sometimes like I'll post pictures of myself or videos of myself and I'll feel like cringe, like I can't believe I did that more. But like some things do really grab. So you never know what's going to.
And the funny thing is that my husband, well, not funny because it's very serious, but he's very, very, very private. Yeah. Even when I started like putting out there like my investments, it was a while before we even said we had investment properties because he's very private. But like I told him and he's like, what are you doing? Why are you putting all that out there? And I'm like, I have a bigger plan. Yeah. There's a greater plan here. And then I kind of explained it to him. I'm like, listen, no one knows what you can do unless they see it.
Yeah. And how you do it. How you do it.
And now everybody's like, oh, your husband can do this. They know that my husband is my maintenance guy. He's my contractor. He's my GC. He's my everything, right?
Yeah.
They know that I do the admin stuff. I'll do the marketing stuff. I'll do the Airbnb stuff. But they know when I'm renovating, I'm not doing that.
Right.
They know it's my husband. And why do they know that? Because I put that out there.
Yeah.
And he gets upset because he's like, you don't have to put everything. And I'm like, I don't put everything, but it's what I want people to see.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to bring it full circle.
We just went off in tangents in every different
I know,
direction.
it's good. It's all good. I'm going to bring it full circle because we believe that impact and profits can coexist in everything that we do. You can build a community and make money from that community. You can collaborate and make money from that. You can launch a package that is going to make an impact in your clients and make money from that. So those are mutually exclusive. No, those are not mutually exclusive. Those go together.
Sure.
So your nonprofit, give us like the why behind it and how that is such a compelling piece of what you do. And we just came from an event and you were a sponsor at an event. So you are really making that big impact. You're building your personal brand, but you're also building something way bigger than business. So why don't you share?
So in the middle of renovating my Cape house, my sister had a stroke. So I'm very spiritual, or not religious, but like spiritual. I believe in God. So I felt like at that time, God was just trying to tell me like, okay, there's something, she's going to be fine. Right. So she has a stroke and I'm just like, my world got turned upside down. Everything from work, from everything. So in that process, I found my family like having, we created this hike. My sister loved to hike. So we created this hike in honor of her, just to bring our friends, our family together. But in that, I did see how people were so generous with money and we were able to like put her into this program. It's called Journey Forward and it's in Canton and it's basically like a facility to rehabilitate, the paralyzed. So I saw how that kind of helped us and how it helped her get into this amazing program because obviously my parents, they were okay. My dad's retired. My mom had a great job. Like I'm well off. Like we're all okay. But that kind of like set my family back a little bit. And I was like, wow, how is it that we're this good, but we can't get my sister into this program? So this is where I was like, there has to be something greater.
And other families are going through the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And we started doing it again and again. So it's our 5th year is this year. So then last year, we started talking about creating a nonprofit. So how could we bring that to help other people?
Right.
And my dad jokes, he's like, oh, you're like Mother Teresa. He's called me Mother Teresa since I was like little. But I'm like a firm believer that like when you're little, these attributes, like this is who you really are, right? So I feel like I'm called to do something greater. Yeah. And with that situation that my family was put into, it kind of gave me that kind of like, this is the way you can give back. Yeah. And even that this situation is horrendous for my family. Like my sister's still not able to speak and she's recovering, but like she still has a long road. That's what kind of put that spark in my heart to be like, you know what? I'm so grateful that I was able to like give my sister this and my family was able to give her this because of the support of my friends and family. Like, how do we do that for others? So that's where the nonprofit was born from.
And what's the name of it?
Stroke of Light.
Stroke of Light. And where can people find out more about it, about the hike, about participating and donating and being a part?
So we do have a website. It's called strokeoflight.org. And you can find it on my Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. I post if you follow me, you will not miss it because I post it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's beautiful. To be able to balance it all as well, right? Like you're growing your personal brand, you're growing your real estate, you're growing your own investment properties, and then to have this fire and passion to create something bigger than all of those combined is just unbelievably impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, we're all here for something more. Like, it's not about the hustle and the money and this is my brand, this is my brand. No, like, we're here for something greater.
Right.
I feel like every situation we get into, if you really think about it and you think about everything that you've gone through, those things have led to better things. It's always all just worked out. Like, you don't have to believe what I believe, obviously. You could believe in the universe, but whatever, I don't care. But we all believe the same thing. Like, there's a greater good. There's like, you could give back, and why not? You know, when you're so blessed, that's what life's about.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Because so I 100% agree with you. Like, and I also think it doesn't matter how big it is. So I think a lot of times, like, people think that needs to be like you're doing something huge, right?
Thank you.
For me, yeah. Oh, well, seriously, I mean, it takes a lot to kind of go through and really kind of fight for something that means a lot to you.
Right.
You know, for me, I do something on a smaller scale. Like, I don't know why, I love talking to people. So like, I just start random conversations with people that I meet wherever. Yeah. And you can just see, just by having that little bit of interaction between two humans, it's just, sometimes it makes their day. You know, and it's just the littlest things you can do. It just kind of promotes that kindness. So I love that.
And that's amazing too, because my sister was a reporter. So she told everybody stories for a living. Yeah. You know, it just happened to be that she had a stroke. So now I'm having to tell her story until she could get up and say it herself, you know? So it's like, and that's why I love your, like, you and Chris, like, just because I see brother and sister, and I one of my greatest values is like the relationship I have with my sister. That
family,
like, you could family, but that sibling relationship is very, very important to me. And that's why I gravitate more to you guys, because it's like, look at this, is so cool. Like, you guys have like this whole thing and it's family, and it's just beautiful, you know, and that's what you share with the world. It could be this little, but like, you share that with the world.
Thank you.
You know, so.
We should have a handshake. Like a
You
special handshake. You should. Jess, thank you so much for hopping on here. You shared the website to the nonprofit. Where is the best channel for the audience to connect, find with you, and also learn how to expand their own portfolio and the options that they have?
So my personal IG would be the best, because I have all my stuff on there. So it would be Jessica.
That's so Jessica.
Yeah.
Our middle sister, her name is Jessica.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always joke, because I'm like, no one's called Jessica anymore. I've never seen a baby Jessica.
That's because, like, all of them happened in the 80s.
Yeah.
I did. There's like a 4-year-old that somebody posted, and her name was Jessica. And I was like, oh my God, that has to be the youngest Jessica.
But now
ever.
You know that you're like in that age bracket where like the old names are cool again. And they're coming back up.
My name will never be cool. I have an old name.
Christopher.
That was one of my baby options for my son.
Really?
His name is Christian. And it was
better.
either Christian or Christopher.
That's better. Sorry for all the Christophers out there, but there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us.
They're all from the 80s.
Yes. I like the old names, though. My daughter's name is Victoria, so it's
that's
like...
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on. Make sure you follow Jess on Instagram. Check out her nonprofit. Sometimes, I don't know if you're going to do it again. I hope she does, but she does courses and like events to learn more about investment properties and how you can get in on the game. Want to do your closing?
Sure. Do I even have a closing?
I don't even know. Make one up.
All right, cool. All right, well, guys. Oh, I almost did the guys thing. See? Okay, everybody.
Trouble.
Thanks for joining us on this episode. Now, seriously, guys. Oh my God. Seriously, everybody.
Like, I'm not editing this out. We're just running it.
You should. Well, I just want to thank you guys for.
Jail.
Yeah, right. Just want to thank everyone for joining us. Really had a good time. Hope you guys took something away from this. A little bit past marketing, right? So it just kind of shows that marketing should just be an avenue to kind of get you where you want to go, and really kind of build that life.
We could turn it into a drinking game. Like anytime you say guys.
Oh my God, we would be hammered by the halfway through.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Halfway through.
I would be too, because I'm like, hey guys. Oh my God.
I mean, it would be fun.
It could make some great viewing.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Hope you guys have really kind of took something away from this, and we'll see you guys in the next time.